Jenna, as Wild so adroitly pointed out earlier in the show, when Nick tried to throw shade at me, I called this. All right, I said this could be a moral victory for the Cowboys. And that's exactly what it is, Jenna. Now, the players can't come out and say it. The coaches can't come out and say it, nor should they.
No.
But they have got to be feeling to a man, oh, we can do big things this year. Like I said earlier, they can play with anybody in the league. That's got to be their mindset. And I know, look, they're confident. They probably believed in themselves to some degree in training camp. But to go out and do it with your quarterback having no training camp hardly, having no preseason games, and you go out there and play the defending champions close. And really, like I said, I believe they outplayed them most of the night. They just didn't get the win. So this is indeed a moral victory. Nick mentioned the schedule earlier. They don't play another team that made the playoffs last year until week 11. What they've got to do is capitalize. All right, they've got to capitalize on that light schedule. They can't get big-headed. We've seen Cowboys teams in the past that look promising, but they got big-headed, they got haughty. Whatever it was, something happened to derail them. They cannot let that happen. And with Dak Prescott as their leader, I do think they'll avoid that. So, Nick, this was most definitely a moral victory. Again, don't look to hear him say it, but it was.
All right, so you're right that I won't give you credit for calling this game correctly when you gave the Cowboys a 0% chance to win and it came down to a field goal at the gun. I will give you credit for proper usage of the word adroitly on sports television.
I knew it.
That was marvelous.
I was going to say, I was like,
it's kind of encroaching on my corner a bit, but I'll allow it. It's well done. Here's, however, why I think the Cowboys Wilds, part of the Cowboys, if you're Jerry Jones, let's just take from his perspective, part of him feels good. We went toe-to-toe with the Bucs, the champs. We could have won. Dak was marvelous. CeeDee Lamb, despite the drops, played well. Amari Cooper played well. You lost Michael Gallup mid-game, still threw for 400 yards. All of those things go in the moral victory column. Here's what doesn't. Zeke might just be done. Like, Zeke was terrible. And it's like, no Zach Martin, got it. But Dak was fine. The pass protection was fine. Zeke had one run that wasn't a net negative play, not yardage, but as far as helping your chances to win. Here's another reason Jerry Jones, I think, might not feel great this morning, not feel like a moral victory. Guys, I hate to do this game one, week one, but Mike McCarthy's just not good. And he just keeps making the same mistakes again and again and again. Hey, we're playing Tom Brady and the Bucs. Here's a crazy idea. Don't kick field goals from inside the 5. Here's another crazy idea when it comes to field goals. When your kicker, before the game, is talking to the sideline reporter, he's like, I got to be honest with you. Had back surgery, and I don't feel like myself. Hey, Zerline, 60-yarder before the half. Give Tom Brady a chance to get 3 points himself. Okay, well, you and Mike McCarthy are the only human beings who did. Greg Zuerlein didn't like it. Cowboys bettors didn't like it. Nobody liked it. They were trying to give Brady 3 points before the half. So, yes, there is the factor, Wilds, that they showed they can hang with the Bucs, and that's a moral victory, I suppose. But Zeke looks awful, and he is tied to that team for this year and next year. People are like, trade him in Baltimore. You can't. The cap stuff, you can't. And McCarthy, he just makes the same game management errors I've seen him make my whole life watching him. So that stuff ain't great, Wilds.
Okay, I agree. And I was filled with optimism earlier in the show. I was happy for Dak. I was happy that football was back. But I have to introduce a new character, Broussard. His name is Bummer Bryant. So right now, it's not your old buddy Kevin Wildes, it's Bummer Bryant. So here's Bummer Bryant. If everybody's like, hey, guy in the locker room, like, yeah, moral victory, everybody. Old Bummer Bryant would be taking off his shoulder pads like, guys, hate to break it to you. Tampa Bay turned the ball over 4 times. And according to a Bill Barnwell tweet I read, he hasn't won a game since Tom Brady's team hasn't won a game like that since 2012. So the idea, fellas, before we get too excited, that we played great, Tom Brady's team, he didn't do it, gave us the ball 4 extra times.
He did it twice.
And we lost the game. So if we do it, if we play them again, the idea that the GOAT is going to give us 4 turnovers is not going to happen. We're not actually as good as we thought. The moral victory should go out the window. We won the turnover battle and lost the game. And that's your report from your new character, Bummer Brian.
I'm confused. Wilds had the Cowboys not making the playoffs yesterday. Today, in the first segment, you had them going to the Super Bowl, it sounded like. And now Bummer Brian
I'm like the
says
Harden
they
of the
stink.
show.
So,
Stir it up.
I'm not sure where they're at. But, yeah, Nick, look, Zeke, I'm going to give Zeke a little more leeway. Because, remember, that Tampa Bay defense is the best run defense in the league. You got to have some holes. I admit, he didn't look terrific. He didn't look like he could make guys miss. But you need some holes to run through as well. And I'll even give you this. Tony Pollard, in his brief, bit of action, he looked more impressive than Zeke. Just his 3 carries, he did look like he was running the ball better than Zeke. So I'll give you that. But I'm not going to throw him out at this point. Also, Nick, you got to admit that defense looked a lot better. Now, one of the turnovers, the Hail Mary, whatever. But they did force a couple other turnovers, even the Leonard Fournette drop pass. But they capitalized on it as far as getting the interception and making a play.
No,
but
and those were forced turnovers.
Was horrible last year.
I give them credit for that.
They looked a lot better, so you got to give them that.
It wasn't just like, and they could have had another one. Good job by Brady. I forget who was coming off the rush, but they were coming off the left side and hit Brady right on the arm, and Brady held on to the football. So there could have been a 5th turnover, theoretically, if Brady. So, no, the defense, you're right, made big plays in big spots. And both of the fumbles were forced fumbles, not just bad luck fumbles. You had one punched out by DeMarcus Lawrence, and then the one at the goal line was a great play in a critical moment. So I give them credit for that. The Zeke thing, though, I don't. And a little rule for me whenever it comes to preseason predictions or analysis is if the storyline surrounding a player, a professional athlete, particularly in football or basketball, is, got in shape. I'm like, all right, that's a terrible sign. You're not CeCe Sabathia, fellas. You're a running back in your mid-20s. The idea that the story with Zeke was, he finally got in shape. The hell have you been doing? If you're in your mid-20s in America, you probably should be in shape if you're an accountant, much less the running back for the Cowboys. So the idea that we were supposed to be optimistic about Zeke Wilds because, last year he was a little overweight. What? You're a pro football player, bro. What?
So what do you want Zeke to do, though? Honestly, against the Tampa Bay had the number 1 rushing defense last year. But how good do you want? You want to run for 100? They're the number 1 rushing defense. Okay. Have more than one run longer than 5 yards. How about that?
Okay, guys, hold. Real quick. He is the 2nd highest paid running back in football. He's got to be good. If the Cowboys are going to be good, one of their top paid guys have to be good. We know how they built the team. It's around their top guys. And he might be 3rd highest paid now because new guys have gotten deals. But he's one of the highest paid backs in football. And he stinks right now. And he wasn't very good last year. That's a problem. And it was a problem for them last night, Jenna.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.